you are buying a used computer, check by yourself with the manufacturer specifications the information from the sellers, because this listing was wrong. I'll show in a moment. A seller may be just wrong, make a mistake. Sometimes, perhaps more rare, they may do an intentional mistake. So anyhow, this listing actually was listing a processor which is double the power of the most powerful processor available on this unit. So I'll show in a moment. This is the listing. This is the same computer, and this was the most powerful processor, 3470T, available on that unit. And the seller, instead of placing this value, these numbers, is placing something else, is writing something else, a processor that's double the power of that one. I was like, oh wow, okay, interesting. Unless he swapped, you can also always swap the processor, but there was a huge difference anyhow. So I went to actually ask him, can you please double check what you say in the listing? Is it really the 3570, the double the power of the most powerful one available at that time? And he comes back and says, actually, so it's not, he says here is not the one that I say, it's really the one that he put in the listing. It's really 3570, it's correct. I wasn't convinced at that point. So I just asked him, can you please take a picture of the system page information? He comes back later on and said, oh, yes, you're right. I was right. It's the 3470 the one that appears in the specifications back then. So it's not this one here. And also at this point, he didn't change the title. He didn't update the title. Perhaps he's going to do it. I'm going to remember him to do so. Anyhow, all this to say that it's just imagine the scenario if I was buying this, believing the seller, and I would receive it at home, and bam, I run the computer, and it's not the processor in the list. It's a less powerful one, quite like half power. Now, that starts a whole new question. Actually, how do you convince eBay that the processor in the listing it's not the one that you will receive, and that the one that you will receive it's less powerful than this one, and it's worth not only returning the computer but also having the seller pay for the return shipping cost, also for the original shipping cost for both ways shipping for the sellers to pay, because the difference between the listing and the reality is so big that actually the listing was really misleading, really, not just a small difference. So all this to say that you get the idea a little bit. Um, just be aware of this if you can. Each manufacturer has usually you can just search. This was a Lenovo, but everybody else should have a page with specifications of all systems, and just scroll to them and just try to also see. You can just ask the seller what's exactly the type model on the box, what does it say, and compare, and it's worth doing it. This was not really actually was with the shipping cost would have been kind of $100, but it's always worth just double checking by yourself.